Okay, I have only 50 minutes. I'm going to make it short and useful. I just bring here some of my work and also to explain why I'm doing this kind of work. Mostly my work is I'm doing the bead knitting and also embroidery, of course something else, but this is something that is my passion. I'm doing it, and then mostly there is a story about my life, my private life and my family life. For example, for example, here I needed, there are a passport, 4 passport, 1 Iranian passport and 3 is a Finnish passport. 1 is the Iranian passport and travel document and the Finnish national passport. And then, yes, and why I decided to make the passport, and this is something very old technique here, and especially the Kurdish area, the technique, they are using this technique. They are making like a jewelry for the women and this kind of. But I knew the technique, but when I decided to make with this kind of material, I make the art. First it came to my mind what I have to do, and then I came to my mind I have to do to make the passport. Because I didn't have a passport in my country, because we've been involved, my family, with politics, and the passport for us, it was forbidden. When I decided to move out from Iran, without passport we came, and with many, many problems, until I got to Finland. And I decided to make this kind of passport, the alien passport. I don't know why they're calling us the alien, because we are from the earth, like other. But we are alien for 2 years. After 2 years, we are getting the travel document, and then if we're lucky, we are getting the Finnish national passport. I made this kind of, and then I tried to also to make something else. I decided to make the visa also, with the knitting the visa. Visa, it was for example, I have 2 sisters, and 23 years I'm living in Finland. And many times I invite my sister to come here only to visit me. Always they refuse, and answer it was the no. And I decided to make by art for them the visa. The most visa is by my family names. And then when they asked me why you make it the visa, I say because the government, they don't give the visa to my sister, I'm making by art. Maybe I can send them, maybe they support my sister to come to visit me. And also the other work I'm doing the embroidery. Embroidery and this bead knitting also, I learned when I was a child. My older sister, she was a master of handicraft, and I was sitting next to her when I was maybe 4 or 5 years. I tried to learn, and I love it, and always I've been punished by my father, because this is the woman work. And my father always punished me, why you sitting next to your sister and doing the work that women they are doing it. But always secretly I was trying to learn, and I learned. And this is something in the Iran, even not in the school, not in the university, they are not teaching this kind of. Only the handicraft people they know. And I decided to make this kind of art also. And this is also going back to my history, because my father, he was from a small city, a small village from Kurdistan, and then when the revolution became in Iran, the Shah is gone, and the new regime comes, starting the war between Kurdish and government. And then this village, it was part of that partisan place, and always it was a war over there. And right now it's empty, everybody, they run away, the village they destroyed. And this is the yellow one is about the war between, we call it Peshmerga, partisan, and the government. You can see the government, they are bombing, and the partisan, they are fighting with the government. And also the other one is about women. The Kurdish woman in that village, she was only 15 years old, and she was raped by one of the soldiers, and she became pregnant. And then this conduct in the Kurdish area especially is very bad if you are not married and you'll be pregnant. And she killed by her brother. The brother they catch on, he was only for a few days in the prison. They released because of in the government eyes, he made a good choice. They killed the sister, she was pregnant. I tried to make his history, and I made it this embroidery because of her, to remember her forever. And also, this is some photo it was, because when they started the war between Iran and Iraq, when our city, it was so full of the soldiers, and my family, mostly they was in the prison. I have to run away. I ran to the one city, it was in the border of the Iraq, and I had a bad luck, and then after 2 nights I was there, and the Iraqi soldiers, they came, they catch the city, and that time I was 32 years old. And all the young women in the city, they captured it to the bus and they put it to Iraq. After 6 months, our family, they find out we are alive and what happened to us. And this kind of photo every year, but for 10 years, without any reason, I was in the prison in the Iraq side as a prisoner of the war. And then the Red Cross always, sometimes they are coming to visiting us. Every 2 years they are taking the photograph of us and they are sending for our family. They want to show still we are alive. And that was one of that photograph. And this sheet you can see is very old and broken. And that was a story about, I brought it with me from prison. And in the prison, it wasn't any sheet, this kind of. But I made some handicraft for one of the soldiers, the bodyguard in there. And she loved it, and he came back and said, my wife, she loved it so much, and she asked me, I have to give you something. I said, what do you want? I'm in the prison, what do you want to give me? The money, son, what I have to do. If you're right, you can bring some shit for us, because our blanket, this kind of, it's not soft. He said, it's forbidden. I say, I promise nobody's. I took it I don't know what the reason. When I released from prison, I took it with me to the Iran, and when I decided to come out, I took it with me. It was in Finland also. I brought it with me to the Finland, and for many years it was in our studio. And then when I decided to make some memory of that prison from this, I make an embroidery, and then it came to my mind, this is the best material. Of course, it was so broken, and I have to work about 14 months. I was working in this piece of the work. And right now, this is staying in the Syracuse Museum. And then, and also, when we're traveling a lot around to Europe and the other countries. When we're traveling, going to the... It's on? Yes. Okay. When we're traveling, going to the... For example, this is Turkey. When we're traveling, going, I try to make something like performance in the street. We're choosing some place, a special place. This have to be something happening there, that place. And here it was about 3 or 4 years ago. It was a 15 years boy, they killed by Turkish police, and then they called it he was a terrorist, and he wasn't anything, he was just a student. And this is all the people they are writing in the street against the Erdogan and government. And we choose that place, it was in the Izmir, and we choose this place, and I'm making performance, and then always my friend Carla, he's making the film from me, video, and then the photograph. And then, and funny thing, when we made this, all the time the motorcycle coming, going, the people, they come, they said, you have to be careful, they are a secret place. But of course, we went from Europe, they didn't say anything to us, because Turkey, they want to prove they are a good government. By the way, that after half hour we went, they came by car, washing all the walls. and the wall, they became clean. They didn't want to anymore this kind of to be in the wall. And this is the Berlin. This is the Berlin. I chose this place where I made it. The passport is the name is of course it's a fantasy. It's not Ethiopian passport. It's not from Ethiopia, but they made it for example, the refugee. I made this passport also for supporting the refugee. And then when we are doing this kind of all of this work, finally, when we have some exhibition, you can see the photograph and my handicraft all. We are putting together and putting the exhibition. This kind of, if somebody has some question. Sorry, for me it's so difficult when I'm talking.